Hi guys, my name is Eddie. We're group number 1.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Katie.
I'm Logan.
And I'm Tyler as well.
For our PSA assignment, we wanted to draw more attention to something that's really not a big issue considered by parents, especially the new ones. It's about the hygiene of baby diaper changing station in public areas like restaurants or any public shopping places. We want to draw attention to the fact that it's not just being used for the purpose it was meant for. There are people who misuse it and abuse it for use of drug, or even leave their drug utensils or drug itself on the surface of these baby changing stations. And sometimes these residues or leftovers are not too visible, so it can cause a health problem for your children or little siblings or whoever you are using the baby changing station to change for. And we just wanted to draw attention to that. So our PSA is, if you see one, clean one for our own kids' health. Also, we tested how parents or newly parents feel towards this with 3 different options: uncomfortable, uneasy, and bothered. And we scaled this from 1 through 7 to see how strong they felt with them. Aside from that, we had another question we asked the survey participants. Some of the questions were do you identify as being a parent? Do you have like a child that you considered old enough that where you use the baby changing stations? And how is being a parent important part of who you are? And what is your general attitude towards this public service announcement itself? And the results we got will be discussed by my fellow friends right here.
So some of our results, the first question we were really trying to ask the viewers were, are you a parent? Because this is mainly what we're looking for, is to target parents, people that deal with kids, anybody like that. So as we surveyed, it was 208 people that took this survey. Of those 208, 121 were not parents, but 87 were parents. But based on that, we wanted to narrow it down a little further. We wanted to go on whether or not their child was young enough to use a baby changing station. As you can see, 40 of them were not young enough, however 47 were young enough. So while it wasn't a huge percentage of the total population, we were still happy to get 47 total people to get some real actual results from, and the people whose parents, whose kids were too old, still have feelings of worry about their kids' kids, so that's kind of what we wanted to target. So as far as our responses, our measures, so the first one, we asked people if they strongly identify with being a parent, and we also asked them if being a parent was an important part of who they are. Based on the parents in the group, it was about an 8.2 to an 8.3 response out of 9. So many people strongly identified with being a parent and felt that it was extremely important who they were. As far as it being difficult to play the role of a parent, we saw a lot of variation in results based on anywhere from a 1, people didn't think it difficult at all, to a 9. But based on that, that's why I kind of met in the middle. As far as uncomfortable, uneasy, and bothered, they all held steady at about a 5.0 average, right around there. And for how likely are you to take action for a PSA, this was our main one we wanted to highlight. It was a 7.05 out of 9, which is a really strong rating for how strong you are to take action. And then we asked just what was the general attitude of the PSA, to which our viewers said about 6.5 out of 9, which is still a pretty strong rating. Now Logan's just going to give you a little bit of insights to some of the quotes and some of the thoughts people had to share with us.
Many people gave us, actually we got a ton of responses from people, and they were good and bad, mentioning our PSA and our Photoshop. The PSA itself, a lot of people were very disturbed by the baby and the paraphernalia that's actually on the changing station itself. We got many responses that says it's never been known that people actually use these stations for drugs and so forth. For the most part, a lot of people really love the baby just because it actually brought to their attention that what our call to action was, and not only to help others basically know what's going on with our community and these baby changing stations. I'm actually going to let you take it over to Tyler so he can look at the results.
Looking back, we found that our PSA effectiveness was very effective for many reasons. Primarily, as Tyler said, our call to action on a scale of 1 to 9 rated a 7.05, which is a strong indicator that people will be more likely to take action by alerting establishment members and other people about the dirty changing stations, as well as maybe even cleaning them. Additionally, as Logan said, a lot of our comments were people saying, "Oh wow, I didn't know this existed. Thank you for bringing this to my attention." So that also, a lot of people were very glad that we shared this with them. Additionally, of our consumer responses, we originally wanted on our 3 scales of uncomfortable, bothered, and uneasy. We wanted it to be in the 6 to 7 range, but for the most part, it was averaged around like a low 5, high 4, which wasn't really up to speed for us. So we maybe wanted to bring that up a little more. So hopefully, we'll take people more action. I'll give it to Katie.
The results we got back from the viewers of feelings of uneasy, bothered, or uncomfortableness were not what we were hoping. We wanted around a 6 to 7, but we actually got around more like a 5. And though like viewers were disturbed about the baby, like we wanted them to be, it wasn't the disturbed that we were expecting. They were more like freaked out, like why is a baby there? So we thought that maybe like if we were to change the PSA to remove the baby from the PSA and maybe add someone else like actually like using drugs on the baby changing table to make it more serious and known.
So just to wrap it all up, we thought overall our PSA was definitely a success, even though there were some things maybe we would change to make it a little better in the eyes of the viewers or to maybe get that shock factor a little higher. Overall, definitely success. We definitely feel that people took action, and we would definitely push this to the real environment and think that people would react the way we would hope they would.
Thank you.